Well, we have a guest, and I'm very excited. I'm very excited to have this guest. It's stand-up comedian, and he was in a fucking cult, which is fucking odd. Like those two things are amazing.
Stand-up comedy. I know.
No,
I've seen those guys.
No,
They're fucking diseased.
No, like I said, they're Uber drivers. This is we're gonna what you fucked up my intro. Hi, Davey Jackson. Welcome aboard. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
Stand-up comedy is a cult. It really, truly is.
It really.
There's no doubt about it in my mind.
Yeah, we thought we'd have you on. You could talk about the craft and talk about how you're different than all these civilians.
Right? Yeah. You know what you want to do? I've learned this in comedy. You like talking down to people. Yeah, you let them know that like your mind, you have a creative mind, and it works differently than other people's.
Yeah, well, I mean, I do like talking down to other people, but mostly I just like talking down to myself because I grew up in a cult and was, just broken, traumatized. I'm a mess.
Can I tell you why?
His guidance counselor was like, "You were in a cult? You should do stand-up comedy, probably. You're not." You know what I mean?
I didn't have a guidance counselor. I was homeschooled and in a cult.
Oh, yeah,
this is okay. Look, this is fucking wild because I messaged you. I went through I thought I was going to watch a bit. I went through the whole thing. I watched before. I fucking binged the whole fucking show. Holy fuck, bro. What the fuck? Okay, so for those who don't know, all right? So remember that show, whatever, 50 billion and counting, whatever, that Duggar family show, and it was on TLC all the time. I remember my mom watching it, right? And it was on all the time, and it was about this family who they were super Christian, and they just had a bunch of kids, and like every year the mom would have like 2 more kids. I don't know how, and it was just like 19 kids at one point. Which, by
the way, is medically not recommended. Like when you have a kid, you're supposed to, recharge the batteries, give the system a little time to build back up.
So it's these guys. I'm sure everybody knows. It's like this is one of the biggest. This was one of the biggest fucking shows.
TLC was such cancer.
TLC is still cancer.
It created an entire roster of supervillains from Batman.
It did, Honey Boo Boo.
Yeah, but they're very body positive now, so you have to give them that. Like that's a good thing, right?
And that is important. It's important to be positive about people dying and killing themselves.
It is. No, it really is. It really is. But okay, so I watched this, and this fucking is a cult because people use a cult for everything now. This is a fucking cult. Like this was because I kind of always knew kids that like they were homeschooled, they were a little weird. And I'm not saying every homeschool stuff is like this. It's this particular sect of people. So, okay, break it down. What was this like? Were you in this since you went into school, or did you go to normal school first? How did it work out for you?
No, I was homeschooled all the way through high school. My family didn't join the cult till I was about like 12 years old.
Right.
But yeah, I've never been to a public school, never even went to a private school. My first experience in a traditional educational format was college.
Okay. Oh my. So that must have been a fucking shock, right?
Oh, dude. Yeah. I partied my dick off.
I gotta ask, like, do you think that them getting into it when you were 12 as opposed to them getting into it when you were like an infant might have helped a little bit? Because maybe you were already, when you're 12, you're not like fully formed, but you're already kind of gelling as a human, and you've had some experiences. Do you think that kind of helped you resist a little bit of the programming a bit?
Yeah, the brainwashing. Yeah, I think that had a lot to do with it, actually, because you're exactly right. Like you're starting to already form your own opinions and thoughts by the time you're 12 or 13. I don't know when you guys hit puberty. It wasn't, it still wasn't for a couple more years, but
I was 27.
29. Yeah.
He's on HRT now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to catch up. I'm playing a lot of catch up.
27 years. That's a different type of 27 club.
Yeah, it was.
Congratulations. Yeah. But yeah, I think that definitely helped. But I mean, still, man, like even at 12, even 13 years old, you're still very impressionable.
Oh, of course.
It's still very much like part of your formative youth, right? So, I mean, I definitely, when I was before I was about 16, I mean, I bought into the whole mentality with my parents because they told me it was the right thing to do. It seemed pretty cool. I mean, we went to these annual conferences, and all these people were dressed the same, acted the same, talked the same. And so it seemed pretty cool right up until you get to the point where you're hitting like the puberty years when you should start dating, all this other stuff. And then it's kind of like, well, I want to go hang out with girls, and you guys are telling me I can't, so I don't like this anymore.
What was the name of the cult, of this homeschool cult?
So it goes by a lot of different names, and that's part of the confusion of it, right? So the traditional name is Institute in Basic Life Principles, IBLP. Their curriculum that a lot of homeschoolers used was called the Advanced Training Institute, or ATI. They loved acronyms. That was like,
And the IBLP, those are the bodybuilding guys. They do the
I think
they do all the Mr. Universe.
Where did
IBL? No, that's.
I have IBS. It's not that.
Oh,
right?
okay, and it's not the IBF.
Okay, it's not.
It's like a combination of bodybuilding and shitting yourself. Actually, a lot of people don't know that.
What a painful existence, because you can't wipe because you're too big.
So
and you're
honestly, I
always
would have
shitting.
taken it.
So what you're saying is basically like any squats over like 200 for me.
Yeah, that's it.
It's just automatic. I'm gonna be shitting myself.
prolapsed anus. So I guess it feels like it's a shell game, but I mean, it almost started by this dude, right? The guy I have on screen now. What's this?
Bill
What's
Gothard.
This? Bill K. What?
Bill Gothard. Yeah.
He looks like a trustworthy fella.
Dude.
I don't have any bad vibes. He's still, look at him. He's totally on the level. This guy.
He was so like he was a very unassuming guy, right? You would never look at this guy and be like, oh yeah, he's up to some weird stuff. Well, maybe some weird stuff, but not like shady stuff necessarily. But yeah, I mean, he's not like the David Koresh type, right? Like you look at David Koresh and you're like, that guy's a maniac. Not this guy so much. And I mean, he came to prominence. He did these seminars all over the country, right? It started in the 60s, into the 70s, 80s, 90s. And he was doing these seminars. It's like the estimate is like, I think it's over 3 million people attended his seminars over the course of the years. I mean, the guy was prolific. And his message was all about how to raise godly families. Like that was his bread and butter, right? Never mind the fact that the dude was never married, never had kids, supposedly never even, in his words, kissed a girl ever in his life.
That's strange.
It's weird that he released a public statement. There was, and I'm sure we're going to get into it. He released a public statement after some scandals that he went through that said, literally, I've never kissed a girl. He didn't say woman. He said girl, which is just creepy. And this is
That, you know what? Can I
70s.
jump on that? I want to point out, because we do a bunch of shows, and like we do other shows too, where we're like, I'm sure like when we watch videos and you like watch a little, and that's always been a thing for me when we watch like breakdown videos.
Yeah,
it's a big red flag when somebody's like girls, and you're like, you're 40.
You're 40. Why are you still saying girl?
I like mom tits, bro. Why don't
I'm
you grow
all
up?
about milfs now, bro. Get the fuck
what's
out of
wrong with
here,
you?
girls.
Yeah, that's just creepy. It's very sus, you know.
It is. It's why. So
It's so creepy. It's almost like in the Catholic Church when you go to a priest who's like a closeted gay guy that the family sent off to be a priest. So he had a vow of celibacy, and they never have families, and they're like, go talk to your priest about your marriage. Go marriage counseling.
So
he doesn't even know what he's talking about.
So a couple people in the chat are asking, what denomination was this?
So that's the interesting thing about this cult. It wasn't relegated to a specific denomination of Christianity. They didn't mess with the church.
Okay.
At all. Like the churches were still independent. A lot of the cult members did home church. In fact, my family did home church for a little while with a couple other families because I guess we just weren't isolated enough. It was like, let's pull out a church and let's just do this with other
We don't want to go outside.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we don't want to expose you to anything. Right. So it never really was a denomination, but I will say it has its basis in the Fundamental Baptist Church. Like the most
like Southern Baptist, Southern Baptist,
like borderline snake biting,
even worse, man.
Okay.
Like borderline snakes. Yeah, snake stuff was
right
in there.
The snake handling guy.
I know this.
Dude.
I know this world a little bit. Like I won't say I grew up in a cult, but I grew up in that very evangelical.
Yeah,
like speaking in tonguesy, Jesse Duplantis getting a prophecies
It's
told.
always the guy with the sunglasses.
Yeah,
every time,
always.
Dude.
And I don't know. My mom ended up dying poor with cancer, and all those guys got private jets. So I don't know. I don't really buy it.
I know.
But I can't even pretend like I would understand your world. But like getting even just a diet taste of it in life, like we weren't like totally shut off, but a lot of our stuff was, well, let's go hang out with the church people and let's kind of, let's always go there. And then boom, 9th grade, I went to public school and I was like, whoa.
Yeah. There's a lot of cool stuff out here that I've been missing. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, girls are making out with me. This rules.
I went. So similarly, I didn't, again, nothing close, but I did go to this school for like a middle school. and it was called Miami Lakes Christian Academy. And it was weird because they had this PACE program, right, where they didn't teach you stuff. You get these booklets, right, and you go through these booklets, and then you would teach yourself. And at the end, you would take a test, and then the teacher would just check your test. But like, you could go at your own pace, and it was super weird because it had these really creepy like Christian cartoons that were like really like fucking just like about your like sexuality, but it's like supposed to be a comic strip. It was fucking super weird stuff. But and then again, then I went and then high school. I ended up going to public school, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I was stupid because I didn't learn anything because I would just scribble everything because I knew they weren't checking, and I'd fucking wing the test. Why would I even try?
Yeah, that's the interesting thing about the education that I got. So my parents were very adamant about you know academic learning, right? Like they were real serious about it, probably like that Christian middle school was.
Right.
And so I got a phenomenal. I tested out of college. Like when I finally went to college, I tested out of the first 3 years. I didn't have to go to class for the first 3 years of college. I was able to, you know, just take these standardized tests, right? But a lot of other homeschoolers got just the most dog shit education you've ever seen. Like all they learned about was the Bible. Their entire education was based on parables of Jesus. It's just, I mean, it was insane. Oh, so you got like these two extremes.
So something else that I noticed about this, it seems to me watching this, that it wasn't just a cult in a traditional sense, but it was also a Ponzi scheme in the way that there was a business built around it where they were telling you guys or telling the people like, don't watch any TV, and if you have a TV, it can only have a VCR, and the only programs you can watch are these by this guy and some other pre-made videotapes, instructional videotapes that they would sell to you. I'm like, wow, that's like fucking next level.
But it was all in God's name, so it was cool.
Right.
It was, yeah, it totally was. It was this giant Ponzi scheme, like the most spiritual, multi-level marketing program you've ever seen. Because yeah, I mean, this was a crazy. So they had compounds all over the world. They probably had at the height, they probably had anywhere from 50 to 60 compounds. Here in the States, they had them in Australia, Russia, New Zealand, Mexico, Ecuador. I mean, just everywhere, dude. And one of the things was if you wanted to advance your spiritual life, you could go and minister at one of the compounds, which minister was just code for work your ass off. And not only were you working for free, but a lot of times your parents were paying the cult to send you off to these compounds for this advanced training, which is just bananas. I went to the training center in Indianapolis, Indiana, which is one of the most notorious training centers. My parents sent me there for a rehabilitation program. I don't know how many thousands of dollars they paid for this thing, but I literally just did hard manual labor the entire time I was there. And at one point even got locked in solitary confinement for a week.
Jesus.
Whoa.
Wait, they had like a Sea Org?
Whoa, yeah. That's like Scientology shit. Yeah. You mean locked in like solitary? How old were you?
16.
16? How long were you in solitary confinement for?
A little over a week. It was intense, man. It was intense. One of my buddies was locked up in there for over a month. And he was
what are you doing there? What did they let you do in there? Like, what did you do?
Read a Bible. That's you got one meal a day. You had a Bible and a bed, and that was it. Like that. Well, and you had a shower too. You had a shower also.
Holy shit, dude!
I mean that's all you had. Yeah, it was insane. I mean, I blocked a lot of it out. But I just remember after the first, probably between 24 and 48 hours, I started like questioning myself, where I was, what was real, what wasn't. Like this psychosis started to set in because you didn't talk to anyone. They would drop your meal off, shut the door again, and you were just there locked in a room.
Well, yeah, they've already found like that's literally cruel and unusual punishment, even for like the worst prisoners in America. Like they've said that you can't just like even nowadays they're doing studies. They're like, look, I know this guy's like a fucking horrible felon or whatever, but you can't just stick him in a fucking room for a month. Like he's gonna be worse when he gets out. I mean, they don't get better, you know.
Even in prison, they at least let you out of, like, if you're in solitary confinement in prison, they let you out of your cell for typically an hour at a time, right? Right. And the rest of the time, you're just in the hole. We didn't even get let out we didn't get let out at all. And the only human contact we had is when they dropped off our meals.
Damn, dude, that's like fucking Arkham. Jesus
Dude,
Christ,
it
you're
was
like a fucking
wild,
Batman villain. Like they're fucking locking you up like you're Joker or some shit.
Dude, I've been on a villain arc for like 20 years
Bro,
now. It's great.
Yeah, no one can blame me, dude. That shit is.
I will say this. I would just make a small recommendation. Villain arc's fine, but you're gonna eventually, as you get older, you're not gonna be as angry. You're gonna want to do the anti-hero arc. That's the final. That's the final evolution as the anti-hero. I've settled very comfortably into that role, and it's very nice because you can do good shit at the right times, but at the same time, nobody expects anything of you. You know,
that's perfect.
It's a
Actually,
perfect
we're gonna
place
get
to
talk
be.
offline. You can give me some pointers on.
I wanted to ask, actually, speaking of that, because I don't want to keep acting like I'm distracted here. I've been looking for your Twitter. Is what I've been trying to do.
Oh, I got it.
Oh, you do have. I want to. Well, can you plug it? Because I want to.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, I want to make sure.
No, I didn't.
I want to follow you.
It's the video started playing on his phone. I'm like, what's that
like,
noise?
Fuck. It's
It's Davy Jax. It's at Davy Jax, at Dave Jax, at DAVEYJAX. Correct.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah,
got it.
You got it. And that's pretty much what it is on everything. Just the DAVEYJAX.
Yeah, we just wanted to make sure that people. I'm sure all the women want to follow you now because I'm seeing those comments. Jesus fucking, keep your fucking bloomers
Colts are
on.
the new serial killers.
Oh yes,
it is crazy.
Yes,
it's crazy. And I started doing this podcast series about the cult. Not even for like the notoriety, but just because I knew there were other people that had been through they went through what I went through, and they're still battling this trauma, right? I purged all the trauma with drugs eventually.
Amen, brother.
That's how I got it out of my system,
brother.
You know.
But yeah,
so I just wanted people to know.
I just followed him. I just want to say, look, just do me a favor since you're on our show. Don't be like Jake Shields or Raw Egg Nationalist and not follow me back. All right, that's a little.
That's weird. Raw Egg Nationalist and Jake Shields followed me back, so I'm fine. Right. Don't worry, I'm cool.
That's cool.
I'm a cool guy.
Oh, it's the sunglasses. I swear to you. That's how I got this scar, man, was wearing sunglasses inside during the day, and I got punched in the face for it. Yeah.
Really? Yeah. Wait, like in the cult or just out in the world?
No, this is out in the world, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, this was out in the normal world.
That makes people really angry.
Like that I was wearing sunglasses. Yeah.
And you can't fuck with him because, as you've seen, he's been institutionalized. So he fucking.
You can't hurt me, bro. I grew up in a cult.
So how was your childhood? I grew up in a cult. But now, like you said, that'll get you laid. To be like, really? Tell me everything about it. Fucking chicks that look like Allison Mack walking up to you all the time now. These Nexium people. What was it like? Tell me what it was
you're
like.
So brave.
You're so brave.
I'm not gonna lie though. I fucked the shit out of Allison Mack.
Of course.
I thought you were gonna talk about me. Holy shit!
I was gonna say, man, Allison Mack, bro. You know she's wild.
You know she
does.
You know she does. She
out here branding bitches. Anybody get branded in your neck of the woods?
Not that I'm aware of.
Just emotionally branded, not like physically branded. Like I'm all fucked up in here.
Yeah, just permanently scarred on the inside. That's all.
Yeah. I can't fucking. So I was watching it too. The other thing I thought was like, what was like? Did you date? What was dating like? Because I saw like the clothing was like bloomers and shit. Like it was really like very medieval like shit.
No, yeah, no, I didn't. I wasn't allowed to date at all. That's actually why I got sent to the Indianapolis training centers, because when I was 16, I started dating a girl from my church who was not part of the cult. She was actually the head cheerleader at her high school.
Of course. This guy's look at this fucking handsome dude. Obviously, this guy's in a fucking must be a caged animal. All the broads want him even more because he's not supposed to be with them. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good. I never even thought
think about it.
That probably was exactly what it was. Yeah. She knew that
forbidden fruit
was off limits, right? Oh man,
all these bitches still have even them, bro. All these bitches still have even them.
Women just want to corrupt things.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's
so they're like, oh, okay, I could ruin this kid's life. This is awesome.
I mean that certainly. I'm sure that had a part to play. Women, everyone loves trauma, right?
Yeah, of course.
Everyone loves trauma. Well, I should say mentally disturbed people like myself and y'all. We love trauma.
It's the best.
We're attracted to it. It makes sense. It's comfortable for us. So yeah, I mean, that certainly played a part. But yeah, so we started dating, and when my parents found out, I mean, it was all over, right?
What happened? What did they say? Did they tell you you're not allowed because she's not in the same cult, or
they moved my family halfway across country?
Jeez. Wait a second. So you're telling me you were such a cocksmith that they had to fucking relocate your family like you were in witness protection?
Jesus, man.
That's basically what it was. Yeah.
You finger bang one cheerleader and your dad has to get a new job. Like, this is complicated.
Why were you relocated? My son can fuck a cheerleader.
He won't stop. And you're like, I don't know. Why doesn't he just stay? What is it, like a fucking child support thing? Or what is
Can't
going
leave
on?
these church girls alone. It's crazy.
They're fucking wild.
What I don't understand is, right, if I had a son who was just such a fucking, he was just swinging dick like this, I'd go, look, I'm going to look at the way Jewish and Arab people do it with their daughters.
Right.
Look, if you're attracting these hoes, bring them into the thing. We need bitches
Yeah,
into
you
the
should have.
thing.
They should have used you as a honeypot. Honestly,
This is what Arabs
I
and
should've
Jews
gotten
do
some
all the
sort of
time. They're
dowry.
like, you should meet.
Yes, exactly.
Dude, if you're like a really successful, a Jewish guy will come and go, you should meet my daughter. Same thing with Arabs. You should meet my daughter.
Yeah.
They have a hot one. They're like, hey, you should meet her. They want to pull you in.
Bro, this is fucking wild. So you were dating somebody, and I mean, I think you are allowed to date, but only if it's like approved by your family. Is that correct?
Okay, so the
It's more
approved
courting,
dating
right?
methodology is courtship.
Yeah, courting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Courting, yeah, exactly. Which is essentially just a fancy way to say arranged marriage, right? It's the evangelical world's version of arranged marriage,
Right.
And so, yeah, you're exactly right. Basically, both families have to approve of the relationship. The intent when you start courting a woman is marriage. Like that's
Right.
it. You're not courting for fun. You're not going out on cute little dates. No, this is a serious matter. Both families are involved. You're never left alone with your, I don't even know what to, it's not a girl, prospect, I guess. You're never
Prospect?
left alone with prospect. Yeah.
They give you a
the
book.
recruit?
They give you a book of paint swatches, and you get to pick one out like it's Pokemon cards. I'll take that one.
You're like, listen, this is just the training camp, all right? It's just spring. We got a long way till the season. And most of you aren't going to be here by the end of this.
Fucking
Well, that's the other crazy thing is that in this cult, like it was normal for women to get married around like 18, 19 years old. Like that was very standard.
Okay.
Which is just crazy because
That's
that's so
batshit
close
crazy.
to child bride, right? Like that's so
Right
close.
we're right on the edge, and but it's not even the edge part, though. But it's also like I saw in the documentary that the point was to literally never stop having kids, have as
Yes.
many fucking kids as you can, no matter what. And that's the other thing. So they wanted him to start young because that's how you could pump those numbers 19 out. You have to start young, and it's just and what was like that weird like military school for what was that? That
dude.
was super creepy.
Oh, you guys
The
had your own, like,
Airland
you had your own
Emergency Resource
Mujahideen?
team.
Airland. Okay, sorry. Can you say that one again? What's it called?
Airland Emergency Resource Team,
Okay.
aka Alert, because once again, the acronyms, right? And it was basically homeschool special forces. That's what it was. Christian boot camp for homeschool special forces.
So you guys had your own, like, Fedayeen.
Holy fuck! I found it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Here it is. I found it. I found from 4 years ago. A recruitment vid or whatever. This right? Am I correct?
Yep, that's it.
Dude.
That's one of their
Will
recruiting
be able
videos.
to
Yes.
be there for their families for the long haul.
Well, this is for young men who say, I want more. I'm not content with where I'm at.
We're all called to lead in some capacity, and we need to be ready and equipped and prepared to do so.
Alert to me is all about discipleship.
Basic training.
Okay, hold on. This is very mild, but what did you do?
I would have
there?
no problem with this if it was like a voluntary, like local community, and you had
Yeah.
like your young sons getting together, and you had the whole
Hanging- yeah, of
community.
course.
I'd be like, oh, this is pretty cool, but it's like, oh no, this is for cult though. This guy was trying to make his own boy army.
This is a world domination play. Okay.
Can I say though, they're making much better military recruitment commercials than the American military is nowadays. So I'll
dude,
give them that much
their
credit.
marketing stuff is next level.
Yeah.
Like the videography in it.
Well,
all of it's
here's
amazing.
the one good thing is, unlike the U.S. military, you're not going to see any trans soldiers.
Well, that's what I was getting at. I was like, you guys actually have a better looking commercial than our current military, because nowadays it's like, I'm a woman with a dick, and I'm represented in the Air Force, and you're like, we are so fucked.
And
We're so dead.
and I also noticed that they put a black guy in this because I was something else in the documentary. They were a little not that accepting at the beginning of the cult of homeschooling black kids. It was super weird, man. This shit was
Yeah.
wild.
So I actually when I went to rehab, there was a black guy that was in the same rehabilitation
No
program
shit.
with me. But here's the worst part about it. He was special needs, like severely
shit.
special needs. So
That's
they sent
fucking
this
sucks.
poor dude, his family sent him up to this intense program where he was just going to work his ass off. And the guy I mean, he was verbal, but not really.
But you could tell he was definitely not all there. Yeah.
100,000%.
Oof.
But so yeah, I mean, maybe, I don't know, dude. I never really saw the racism side of things in the cult, but I for sure know it existed, and it was there were definitely like white national undertones for sure.
It's very odd. Like, you know, a military and when you said world domination, they say that in the documentary. You're not joking. That is the ultimate goal of this group, is to keep reproducing faster than anybody else and basically take over, you know?
Yeah, flood the market.
They're putting people in politics. I saw that too, like, you know, running for local politics.
Well, I
and shit
mean,
like
why
that.
not? I mean, if the Chinese can fucking do it, and the Indians and the goddamn Muslims, why can't we do it?
So this is the alert. Does every dude in this have to do this, or
no?
Okay.
So I actually never went through the alert basic training. Right. By the time I would have been eligible for that, I was already in trouble with the institute, as we call it, with the cult. I was already in trouble. I had a personal meeting with Bill Gothard when I got in trouble in rehab after I got out of solitary confinement. He had a conversation with me, and essentially the options were, you're either out of here or we send you to an even more intensive program where they basically send you into the woods for a log cabin program where you just hang out in isolation with one mentor until you basically shape up. So I was already in trouble. I wasn't going to be allowed an alert. So I never went through that, but the majority of the people that I talked to that went through this program talk about how insane it was. Very little attention was paid to, you know, like physical health. Guys were getting injured. They would just tell them to keep going. And if they didn't, they just didn't love God enough, essentially. I mean, it was intense. But the hilarious thing about it is these guys are marching around in these crisp, snappy uniforms, making homeschool girls wet, right? They never trained with any weapons. There was no hand-to-hand combat training at all. So basically, they were just getting deployed around the world to help with humanitarian missions.
It's the Boy Scouts.
Yeah, very much so.
Or like Mormons, maybe?
No, not even that. I mean, it was disaster relief that they were. So they helped out with Hurricane Katrina.
Okay.
There was an F5 tornado that blew through Oklahoma City. They helped with that. Actually, when the Oklahoma City Federal Building, the whole Timothy McVeigh situation.
Yeah.
Supposedly, they were some of the first guys on the scene there.
Yeah, they were there the day before.
They dropped off all the fertilizer.
Yeah, they're not gonna.
Wow, you guys were there really early, huh? Yeah, we wanted to help. I don't know what you want.
We got a tip, something.
I don't know.
So
they were the first at Waco too. Did you know that? It's super weird.
Crazy, right?
Always the first on the scene to help.
Anywhere there's a disaster, they just somehow show up. But the interesting thing was that Bill Gothard, the cult leader, he would essentially a lot of times use these guys as a bargaining chip, especially with foreign countries or local governments, basically saying, hey, if you help us out, we're going to send in our guys to help you clean up whatever you need cleaned up, right? And not like fixers, but like in the literal sense. Like if you got a building that needs to be rehabbed or demolished or renovated,
they'll do the work.
We'll just send our guys in here, free labor, baby. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's so weird hearing that this is like still happening now. That this is like this is fucking like weird. It's like the Scientology stuff, except until this documentary came out, nobody was talking about this. I mean, I knew tangentially of stuff because of the news coverage of the Duggar stuff. Because I mean, obviously that must be like that family must be a patron saint for that group because it was the public face, right?
Absolutely, yes, 100%.
And it feels like that was just like, look, in the documentary they said the Duggars like, how can you be on a TV show when you don't believe in TV? And it's like, well, it's okay if it's for ministry or whatever. And
it was their evangelism. They considered it part of the ministry, even though those of us in the cult weren't allowed to watch it because it was on, cable TV.
That's hilarious. They weren't even allowed to watch it. That was just a propaganda for other people. And then, of course, for those that don't know, his son was like caught like molesting family members and
dude.
child porn.
Talking about the Duggar kid?
Yeah,
or-
the Duggar
yeah,
kid.
Yeah,
Josh
that was,
Duggar,
that
yeah.
was bad.
Yeah, Josh Duggar. Yeah.
That was awful.
And
Disgusting,
it
horrific,
came out that TLC was like kind of running interference.
Not
and
only-
like, ha ha ha, no, let's not shut up.
Not even running interference. Even after it happened, that show you what a cash cow this family was. They were trying to do spin-offs with the other kids because they didn't want the dad in it because, the whole, it was a little, but they were still really trying really hard.
Well, yeah, going back to my point about like outside of just the cult and the Duggars, but like TLC became like this factory of monsters.
Yeah.
And like everybody they created would get so fucking high on themselves that their lives would get really fucked. There'd always be a scandal, and then there would always be spin-offs. Hogan, same thing. You had fucking Hogan Knows Best, and then everything fell apart, and like the mom was fucking the daughter's friend, and Nick killed the guy or caved his head in with a car, and it got crazy. And then they were like, well, we'll do spin-offs, Brooke, and music career, like, because they're still getting numbers. TLC should have never. How did it go from
I don't know, man.
hey, polar bears, come out, 8 months out of the year, unlike their cousin, a black bear, like that used to be, and then it's.
And then they have a show called Best Funeral Ever.
Yeah, and then they just came out with like, Incest is Best, season 3. And you're like, what is happening? What am I watching?
Is that an actual show? Because I would love to.
I think we
Well, yeah, the Duggar thing. I thought that was one of the spin-offs.
Yeah.
Can I ask? Because since we're so bad at doing shows with guests,
we're terrible,
and we always just end up hanging out with them and having fun.
That's
and
always what
we
happens.
Never do anything we never do anything professional. I do want to point out again, it's Davey Jacks on Twitter, and you also do stand up. Where are you based out of? I'm trying to.
You have a
do
special.
the thing we never do, which
you
is
have a
like
special
plug your
coming
shit.
out. You have a special coming out, right?
Yeah, I do. So I'm based in San Antonio, Texas.
Ooh, nice.
I'm a Texan boy for life.
We go up there every once in a while.
Yeah,
we're still trying to secede. At some point, it's going to happen. But yeah, so San Antonio, Texas. I do have that special coming up. That should be dropping middle part of August. As a matter of fact, we're still working on putting everything together. But it's going to be all about the entire special is going to be about how I grew up in this cult and trying to turn
dude.
the trauma into comedy.
Yeah,
So
dude.
that's crazy.
That shit is like.
Is there a name for it yet, or people should look out for, or is it just we're still?
Yeah, when it drops, it's going to be the Cult Kid.
Oh,
okay.
Okay, I
Just wanna
like
make
that.
sure.
All
I want
right.
people to follow this because I've had fun so far. He rules.
No, he's
This is
fucking great.
guy.
Yeah, I know. I mean, so this is it is weird. So then leaving it, right? Did it take you was your family let's say the TV stuff, right? Was your family hard nosed about you not watching TV? Did you really not or did you sneak TV and watch it anyway? It just feels like I wonder if it's being Amish and using a phone for the first time, when you left. What was it like?
So that's actually there's a funny. I haven't told this on any of the podcasts or anything that I've done, but my family had this little 9-inch garage TV. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like those little TVs that you can put on the garage counter or whatever and watch sports while you're working out in the garage.
Yeah, my dad had a little one of those.
Oh,
yeah.
like the little
So it's
antenna
got
on
the
it.
antenna and everything.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So they had one of those, and when I was 14 years old, I would wait on the weekends. I would wait until I had some alone time, like my parents were off doing something, and I could commandeer this little garage TV, and I would watch the Spanish channel because they had a show on Saturdays called Muy Caliente.
Oh, you're speaking Royce's language.
Yes, they
You
did.
know what I'm talking
yes,
about?
they
Yeah.
did. And it was muy caliente.
That was my sexual revolution. And I have been obsessed with Latin women ever since.
Oh, hey, listen, amen, brother. Not even just because of that, but because of where I was raised and exposure to it. Yeah, brother, I'm with you. And honestly, statistically, it's your best bet.
It really is.
If you're looking to settle down in the future, these fucking Western white women are all fucked in the head.
Yeah, these cartel wives never flip, bro. They're like, I didn't see anything. Fuck it, I didn't see shit, dude.
Get you a
The fuck up.
brown Catholic Latina who's just Catholic enough that your family stays intact, but not so Catholic that you guys end up, moving around a lot again with the kids and making them
There is
join
a
and
high
wear
risk of getting
outfits.
stabbed. I will go ahead and let's
That's
give
why
that
I said.
disclaimer.
That's why I said.
To be honest,
This is why I said when you're ready to settle down.
When you're ready to settle down. That's right. And that and that Puerto Ricans, I would not recommend that.
No.
That's a very aggressive.
Because they'll stab you even if you don't cheat.
Those Puerto Ricans, they
I
are
didn't
extra spicy.
Didn't say they're not hot. I didn't say they're not hot. What I said was they're fucking insane. And that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Just be very careful, okay?
I plead the fifth because I've dated a Puerto Rican.
Yeah,
and,
I mean,
I don't want this to get back to her because
you don't want to get stabbed. Oh fuck. Yeah, man. It's so you were sneaking TV and stuff like that. And obviously you were dating behind their back, you know. So it did seem like you had a couple more chances to escape, a couple more chances to do that, because it seemed like some of these people, at least from what I saw in this document, like the Duggars are a great example, because the reason I bring them up the most is because that's the family that has the most film on them and like seeing their daily lives, and it always seemed like
talk about them like they're running backs.
Well, here's why. It's true.
We have a lot of tape on these people,
It's
so
true.
to study, you know.
And they're not running backs, or maybe kickers. They're all white.
Certainly not a corner.
Yeah, hard R duckers is what I call them. So, anyway, it seemed like the only way to describe like all the kids in that family is they felt like they were all Chick-fil-A employees. They were all too nice. Like, I'm not saying like in a bad. I'm saying like, you know, when something is so nice, it seems artificial.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, and
there's fucking Max Payne music playing behind those eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
I know what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Was there a lot of that? Were you were you told that you had to have this front-facing positivity?
Yes, absolutely. And women, the way that Michelle Duggar, the mom, the way that she talked, this like really high, breathy voice, that's how a lot of the women in the cult talked, because having that, you know, that quiet, modest, sweet voice was considered more godly, right? Because that showed you were a submissive woman, that you respected your male authorities. And so it was a lot of that kind of stuff, and that's why I love that they.
Oh, I learned when her Mercy was she was Mercy, right? In the callings, everyone had their own little.
Oh
thing.
yeah, character quality.
Character quality. So yeah, they had these character qualities, and turns out all the women were Mercy, where they had the bird and stuff, and all the guys were teachers, where they had to teach stuff. It was wild.
It's such a turnoff for me. I don't want a mousy chick who doesn't say shit with her chest out. Like, you know what I mean?
That's why
you want a raspy cigarette voice.
Hispanic women. Again, we go back to Hispanic
I've dated black women, Jewish women. I've dated some very overbearing women. I want you to fucking. Yeah. I don't want to sit here and go, did you want to?
Yeah, Mercer's dick is the opposite of John Mayer's.
Yeah, that's it.
Dude, this dude gets tied up.
Dude, my dick is the UN.
Yeah. Mercer's
the model UN.
Mercer's driven to a lot of check cashing places. So
Well, that's with a good liquor store.
No,
that's a very specific reference.
Yeah, no, baby, I'll wait in the car. So
yeah, right. I've mostly fucked strippers for years. They don't cash checks. Fuck you talking about?
Shout out.
Yeah, they don't. It's all cash, baby.
Hey, he goes to the check cashing place. I go to the methadone clinic. That's where I.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, baby.
Look, I know you're nodding off now, but here's my card.
Oh yeah. When you wake up, you'll remember me. Here, let me take a picture.
That's the thing about. That's the thing about bitches in a methadone clinic. They all want to go for a cup of coffee. Because they're all, they're like, oh, I'm so tired. Yeah, I love a cup of coffee right now. Yeah, come on.
They're drinking 2 Red Bulls.
Their face always itches for some reason. It's crazy.
They're fucking pounding Red Bulls on the way to the coffee place. Yeah, no, I know. But all right, sorry. That's the problem with this show. You have such great stories. You're funny. Rules. You're funny. So we goof around.
We gotta have them.
I love it.
You're welcome to come back on whenever. You know, I have a feeling
you got a YouTube too, right? I looked that up.
Yes,
I subbed to that as well.
Yeah. I think I don't even know what my YouTube handle is actually. I was on another podcast.
Well, I found that
she informed me.
If people Google like the actual title of that docuseries in your name, Davey Jackson, they'll find it.
Oh yeah, it comes up. Yeah, it does. You know, it's funny because this is going to be another situation, as I call another Ryan Long situation. Ryan Long's our friend. We love Ryan Long, but we had him on right before. You're going to blow up. I already know.
We have good
You're
news.
Absolutely
good news for you, right? We actually do have a curse on this show where everybody.
This is true. This is true.
like the minute we make friends with somebody and they come on the show and we have chemistry, they go on to fucking immediately blow up.
Alex Stein's another great example.
And then
Let's go down the list.
And then usually we
that's my boy.
Alex Stein's the man.
And then we lose another sponsor or another platform.
Harrison Smith.
Harrison Smith's another one. Go
They
down the
all
list.
suck. I hate them all.
They all come on the
I'm
so
jealous of all of them.
You're gonna blow up, and then later on when you come back down, you'll be like, hey, can I come back on and like plug this NFT that I'm working on or something? That's usually what happens, or something like that.
Well, actually, because of my cult upbringing, when I form a circle, of people, I stick with them, dude. Thick or thin, bro.
I like
so
that.
I'm coming back on.
Listen,
He shows up and all of a sudden he's fucking has the same haircut as you the next day. Same shirt. You're like, what are you doing? No, it's kind of just I have a certain thing I like to do.
I have a vibe.
It just makes me comfortable. It's
So
self-soothing behaviors.
He comes on. He's like, so what are we doing today? And every time you go, what's up, man? He goes like this. Oh, I saw that, dude. They had a video that showed you how to beat your kids. That's fucking insane.
Yes. That was Michael Pearl.
Michael Pearl,
and Debbie
yes.
Pearl. Yeah.
Yes.
Train up a child.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here because I told Royce off the air, right? I understand that sounds bad, like when you hear it said that way. But do you want people that are untrained just beating their kids all willy-nilly? Right?
You know
or
what?
would you rather them have a little,
Valid point. Yeah. It's just like the coat hanger on the leg for me. It's crazy what these guys were doing. Yeah. I mean, it was like torture. Like the stuff they were doing could be classified as legitimate torture. The way that they were disciplining their kids. Insane.
It was called Train Up a Child. It's these guys, dude. I saw by the way, I'm in a rabbit hole now because of you. Thank you, by the way. And this is all I now like. I'm into this fucking cult shit now. It's this guy, right?
That guy.
That's the guy. That would be Michael Pearl.
That guy's definitely said the N-word. And when I say it, I mean felt it. You know what I mean?
Guttural.
To go back to your earlier point, he said that with his chest.
With his chest.
With all of his soul.
Look at him. Of course he did.
He said it like Gandalf on that bridge. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. It was like videos of him hitting like a doll with a stick and the right way to hit the. Like, this is like. Again, it is super fucking weird to me that this is still going on in 2023. Like, this feels like old-timey shit, but, like, there's a lot of these things. Like, for the next one was another good example, but, like, Scientology's still fucking going on. But, I mean, honestly, I think in a lot of ways, this is worse than Scientology for one big reason, because this is the kids, man. Like, Scientology usually get them in. Don't get me wrong, there's some people that are born into Scientology, but it's not really that many. If you really look at it, it's usually people that convert because it's a cool thing. This is just being born into a fucking cult that you're into forever and you're shamed into forever, and then just perpetuating it. And by the time you're in it, if you're at 18 and you're having kids, at that point you're already stuck. Because like, I already have kids, and I'm not going to leave now because then. It really is like in a weird Ponzi scheme and all this stuff. And it's like, I was seeing some of the books. It isn't like homeschooling. Like people think like, oh, I'm going to teach you. Some of the books are like wisdom books. What were those?
Oh yeah.
What were these wisdom books?
Yeah. So that was the ATI part of IBLP, the Advanced Training Institute. You had these wisdom booklets, and the wisdom booklets were basically positioned as a homeschool curriculum that, you just repeat every year. You go through the wisdom booklets once a year, right? There's 54 of them or something like that. It's based on the whole thing is based on the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus' Sermon on the Mount,
right?
Like Matthew 5. And so you go through these wisdom booklets for your education, and supposedly by the time you graduate high school, you have graduated with a college degree equivalent, which is absolute bullshit. I mean, you barely learned fractions in these wisdom booklets, and it was all based on biblical principles, the parables of Jesus. It was, which there's nothing wrong with the Bible. There's nothing wrong with Jesus. There's nothing wrong with it. But trying to center an education, especially like a high school education around Bible verses, is fucking nuts.
It is weird because there's no mat. It's true, and it's the only thing I know is how many cubics there was to build the ark, which is another thing. They said fossils were put there. Dinosaur fossils were there after the flood. Like they weren't yeah, that's another thing about these people. And by the way, speaking of fractions, it looks like the only fraction that Michael Pro knows is 3/5, and that's it.
Jesus.
Zen Rhino. Zen Rhino says Locals is now on Roku. You can watch your subscribed content using Locals TV. Thank you for Zen Rhino. That's actually pretty cool to know. Yeah, man.
Zen Rhino's great. He actually super chatted and then just did a live read we should have done.
Thank you. I know.
So appreciate that. That's actually very appreciated.
We had like 3,800 people watching today, which was great live. It's fucking awesome. So thank you, everybody that hit the like button. But why? This is terrible. We had such a great guest, and all we do is fart around.
I thought this was good, though.
Yeah, I mean, for us, I guess.
It's been fun.
Yeah, I had a good time.
Well, I
man.
mean, we're gonna get him followers. And
Yeah, he's gonna get followers. He's gonna promote. Yeah, of course.
We gotta clip this interview because this is one of the best interviews we've done in a while.
No, I will agree with
So
this. This was yeah.
But no, this is what we do on our show.
And like so many women have fallen in love with him in the chat. It's getting weird.
I don't like, yeah, Davey. I don't know if you're ever like familiar with like Opie and Anthony back in the day, or
yeah.
So
of
like,
course.
So
they started up in New England when I lived up there.
Yeah, I'm from New York, so that's like we kind of have a similar thing with guests where it's like, you know, if we had a studio and you were coming in for a morning show, it'd be the same thing. We're like, yeah, we're just gonna go live and fuck around. Like, yeah, just hang out. And some people sink and some people swim, you know?
Yeah, next time you come on, we're just going to go through our regular show and watch videos. That'll be fun.
I would love to tell you also after I got out of the cult, because I went through this crazy like addiction process that was into, like, I was doing everything.
Well,
and
yeah,
I know
because
you guys will love those stories.
because I'm sure like it's one of those, like, you know, you've never had cake and you have cake for the first time, all you want is fucking cake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to eat the cake. I want to shit on the cake. I want to. I
want to snort the cake.
I want to fuck the cake. I want to do everything with the cake.
A woman in the chat just says, "I can fix him." Oh, that's great. Oh, good. This is fucking great.
Yeah, have him back on and talk. We'll talk drugs.
Let's drama bond, baby.
Hey, you know what? Let's have you on like very soon. I mean, seriously, come back on because
this is a lot of fun.
I did not realize how much we were gonna get out of it. This has been great.
Davey Jax, JAX on Twitter, and like I said, I don't have the link because we got a new.
I got
computer
it.
Here
I do have the link. I do have the link.
So we'll pop the link for his YouTube.
I gotcha.
For his YouTube as well.
I gotcha.
And then I'll get logged into all this shit tomorrow.
Yeah, dude, this was a lot of fun, man. I just realized an hour. It's an hour already. Fucking flew by. That was fucking
crazy.
great, dude. We're gonna get you on again, like maybe even the same month, because I want to actually go more into this, because first off, this shit's fucking fascinating, and everybody in the chat seemed to fucking love this, because this is wild shit. Like, it's something you don't think is happening, and when you go, wow, like this is a dude younger than me who this is happening now. Is fucking crazy to me that people are still listening to like Michael Pearl's teachings. It's fucking odd.
There's a brand new generation of it too, dude. There's there's legitimate Gen Zers that are coming up this way.
I saw the TikTokers. I saw they had these TikTokers.
I know who Nick Fuentes is.
No, that's a different guy. Oh. No, the TikTok. He's the one that's the fresh and fit guy, Nick Fuentes. The TikTok.
Yeah, Sneeko. I've heard of him.
No, it's a different guy. The Tape Brothers. Water.
We don't speak politics.
Bottled water.
Anyway,
the thing is I'll go out there and I'll dominate somebody and I'll fuck him right in his ass, and he'll be the gay one.
Come on, top G, baby. Let's go.
Top G.
Yeah, I'm not bottom G.
Power, if anything, power bottom.
Power bottom G.
I refuse to be a bottom, not because I'm not gay, but because I'm selfish.
They accuse me of doing the lover boy method to fuck guys. All right, man.
You don't fuck my ass fucks you.
Dominance.
My God, this is so stupid.
Thank you for being on, bro. This is a lot of fun, man. This is a fucking great time. I'm gonna shoot you another message right afterwards. We'll set up the next interview ASAP, because this was fucking great, and I definitely want to hear about you leaving that shit, dude. This is wild. I like the documentary. Don't get me wrong, but this is way more fun because the documentary is a little more sanitized. You're just like, no, I'm gonna fucking tell you about my fucking crazy life. It's fucking nuts. We'll
get into it.
You were fucking a cocksmith. They put you in solitary confinement because you fucked too much. That's fucking insane.
That is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, no, and one of the incidents was with two of the women at the training center.
Yeah,
that's why I ultimately got sent to solitary.
Wait. Oh my
all right.
God.
Well,
okay. We're
That's a
setting
good
this up.
teaser.
That's a perfect teaser. Thank you so much for being on, man. We really
Thank y'all.
fucking appreciate it, dude. This was a goddamn blast. Take it easy, man. See you later.
We'll see y'all.
Oh, see you, man. Go check him out. That was fucking great.
Everyone knows how I feel about new guests.
No, he's amazing.
It's literally always a roll of the dice, and I'm
Yeah.
always like, fine, we'll try it. And then anytime somebody's good, I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm like, oh, I ruled. Okay, thank God.
He's fucking great. Thank you, Pink Trip, for hooking us up, man.
Yeah.
That
That was Pink Trip.
That was
Shout out to Pink Trip.
So thank you so much, Pink
And
Trip.
subscribe to Pink Trip too.
That's on YouTube, right?
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
I'm
Yeah, that's right. You're welcome, Pink Trip. You're gonna get the Revenge of the Sis bump.